What's up, love? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Maya if this is your very first time here. So today, guys, we are doing makeup for mask. I have gotten so many requests, girl, since this pandemic started for a video all about how to fix your makeup for it to last during a mask wearing season, which doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. So today I'm gonna be going through each step of the makeup process, telling you what you do need, what you don't need, what products to use, some product recommendations, and a lot of tips about how to get your makeup to be transfer proof and not rub off on your mask, so that by the end of the day, you looking just as good as when you first finished it, girl. That's the goal. This video is in partnership with Skillshare, and let's hop right into it. Before we do, please make sure that you hit subscribe if you have not yet, so that you are updated when the videos come out. Also, make sure that you hit that notification bell as well, so that you are updated when the videos go up. All right, love, let's do it. All right, y'all, so I have gotten so many requests for this video. I feel like the last video that I've done like this was for summertime, when I was showing you guys how to get your makeup to stay all day. Some of those tips will overlap in this video, just because I feel like when we are talking about mask makeup, we are wanting our makeup to stay put, you know, regardless of if it is getting something rubbed on it, aka a mask. We want it to stay where it is. So different from that video, this video will be more specific to mask wearing. First things first is we need to make sure we have a primer, and the reason we want to make sure that we have a primer when we are worried about transfer proof makeup is primer needs to do its job. Its job is to help to create a barrier between your skin and the foundation and the products you're about to use, as well as grab on to the product a little bit more. Because if your primer is grabbing onto the product more, then that's less likely for your mask to grab onto the product, because it's already being held by the primer. I don't know if that makes sense, sis, but yeah, I would lean away from an oily primer. I would go for something a little bit more silicone based. I'm using my Milk Hydro Grip primer, which you guys already know I love because it does that. It is a hydro grip. It gives you hydration while also gripping on to the makeup. So it's nice and tacky on the skin. Next, I'm gonna go into foundation, and I'm gonna give you guys two different options for foundation. Drugstore wise, I'm going to recommend the Maybelline Super Stay foundation. Love this foundation for transfer proof. It is a matte finish, which I believe is the best formula to use when you are trying to get something to stay all day long. Anything luminous, anything glowy, even the natural finish stuff, I feel like it's not going to really stick the way that a matte foundation will stick. So this is my drugstore option. I'm actually not gonna use this one today. No, I'm not gonna do it. I am actually gonna use the more higher end option, which is the NARS Soft Matte Foundation, y'all. This stuff right here is bomb when it comes to not transferring. I usually mix the shades Macao and Marquise, so I'm gonna go ahead and use these. And before I put this on, another thing that you can do to preserve is to go ahead and set your primer with a powder. I'm not gonna do that today, but for those of you who are oily, sometimes when your oil comes through and gets on that liquid product, it makes it even more slippery, oily, rubbing off. If you put that powder on your primer and really set it, it will help. You know what? I'm just talking. Let me just go ahead and do it while I'm just blabbing off at the mouth. So I'm gonna take the butt of this sponge, dip it into the powder, put a little bit on the back of my hand, and just start to set my primer. I do want you guys to see the full like effect that everything that we're doing is going to make on wearing the mask. So you also want to make sure that you are focusing this where that mask is going to be hitting your face. It's all about strategy, I think. So this will really truly help it being the product that we're going in on top to truly not come through as much as it would had we not done these steps. So foundation, I'm gonna go ahead and use a brush and put this foundation all over the face. And I know that there are some cities that are actually opening up, which must be nice because St. Louis ain't open. I am putting this on my eye as well, y'all, kind of like a little pre-primer. But I'm still not out doing a whole bunch of stuff, y'all. I'm still trying to social distance, okay? So you guys know that one of the ways that I have been spending some of my time at home is being on Skillshare. If you do not know what Skillshare is a online learning community. They have thousands of courses that are taught by professionals as well as just normal people who love their craft, and the courses cover all types of topics. Anything that you could possibly think of, Skillshare has it. So if you have extra time on your hands, I feel like Skillshare is an amazing resource to have, because it allows you to really dive into maybe some of the interests that sometimes you don't have time to dive into. And if you got a little extra time right now, then you got some time. So you guys know that one of the classes that I love and that I have taken is Productivity for Creatives, which I really truly love, because it helps me as a creative to be more productive, because sometimes I got a problem with that. So that course has really helped me, and is taught by Thomas Frank. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to hit the link in the description box and in the first comment will get a free trial of the Skillshare premium membership. So make sure that you guys click the link below. So I don't know if you guys can tell what happened here. This foundation I love so much for that purpose, for longevity and sticking and not transferring, because it dries down very quickly. It dries down very smoothly. It looks natural, because once we do set it with powder and do any other extra stuff, it's going to really stick. So I wouldn't recommend any other foundation product. Sometimes I do use a stick foundation when I'm going into, you know, my mask and everything, but I set it so much. I would rather go in with something matte that's gonna dry down and that's gonna stay put. But no foundation bombs, no, like I said, luminous, we don't need them problems. Also, I don't think it's an issue of putting foundation everywhere, especially like somebody like me. I really enjoy the times where I'm driving in between places and, you know, I'm stunting out my makeup on. People can see me, you know, like I like to take my mask off while I'm in the car. So it would look crazy if we put foundation everywhere and not here. So I do like to make sure it's everywhere, which is why we're doing this video, to make sure it sticks. Concealer wise, I would recommend over anything the NARS Soft Matte Concealer. Reason being is because of the same reason why I go for the Soft Matte Foundation. In my opinion, it is just an absolutely amazing concealer because it is nice and thick. For those of us who are not into the really thick concealers, you might have more of dry skin, this might not be the best option for you, but I would recommend going for something that's a little bit more on the matte side, and also watching your placement for your concealer. Now, for me in particular, my mask is mostly not gonna touch this area, but it will touch my nose, it will touch down here. So I'm gonna avoid putting any extra product in that area that does not need to be there. I feel like that is a huge tip. Even though we are attempting to do our makeup in a way that will make it last longer and not be phased by a mask, we still, in my opinion, need to make adjustments, you know, when it comes to the mask, to make sure that we are not doing overkill and not doing the same thing as usual. That's just gonna make the situation worse, you know? We don't want to make the situation worse. So when I'm doing my makeup for my mask, typically I will just do my under eyes, I'll do my nose, do my forehead, all that can stay the same. I won't put any concealer here, and I usually will not go into concealer here and here, because that's more product that's just gonna come off. Especially if you have a mask that is flushed to your face. Another reason why I would say it's great to have something that is a thicker concealer, because if you have something that's looser and more wet, it's more prone to move around on the face and be bothered by what's going on around it, just because that's the natural state of it. Once the oils hit it, once the environment hits it, it's more likely to be back in that flimsy wet state. And that's why I'm in love with the matte products, because of that reason. Now, like I said, those of you who are dry, I'm not dry, I'm a combination, but I'm mostly oily. So using these type of products is a huge benefit for me in particular. Because sometimes I feel like dry skin, and correct me if I'm wrong because I don't have super dry skin, but I feel like it might hold on to products a little bit better than like someone with oily skin. Because I feel like oily skin really just breaks it up. It's just gonna break up the products like crazy, and that is the opposite of what we want. I feel like it's our oily makeup wearers who have the biggest issue with transferring. I am going to use both a loose powder today and a pressed powder. For my loose powder, I'm going to go ahead and apply it the exact same way that I usually do, and that's just pressing it into the highlighted concealer areas with my sponge. But also notice, guys, that we did not do any deeper shade, no deeper, you know, contour or cream bronzer or anything like that. Reason being is what I said before. Yes, we are, you know, doing this to see how to make the makeup last with the mask, but we also want to go in with less product than we usually would to help the situation. So it's not gonna be helpful for me to go into any more cream products. We finished, we done. I actually even would recommend, if you're gonna go into a blush, which I could have done, but I didn't because I forgot, to do a cream blush before you go into set. Because if you put a powder blush on top of the face, after everything is nice and set, that's going to come off. And it's right in this area where your mask goes right across, baby, you will have a line right through your blush, and that ain't the way to go. So definitely do a cream blush underneath powder if you want to do a blush. I am going to finish with my powder. This one is my deeper powder, skin tone powder. I'm taking a more looser brush. I'm gonna pat into that powder and then dust it on my hand. And in circular motions, just go all over the face with that powder. Now, another thing that I feel you could do during this process to make your makeup more long lasting is spraying it after every step. So after foundation, spray, maybe with some all-nighter setting spray. After concealer, spray, or spray it as you are about to blend it out. That is also something that can really help it to last longer as well. I'm just not used to doing that, so I forgot about it until this moment, but it is something that does help. But this is just going to set everything in place. We don't want to use too much. We want to use a nice light veil. And the next thing we are going to use is the Urban Decay All Nighter powder. Now, I have told you guys about this before, but this is a waterproof setting powder. Anything that you can use that is waterproof, use it when it comes to trying to make your makeup last for mask. So this is a lighter powder, but I am going to start to press this into the skin. We want to press it immediately so that we don't have a white cast. And I'm focusing this in the areas where my mask is going to be sitting on my face. I do want to put this everywhere, but in particular, where I'm going to be covered with my mask and where the edges are going to be laying up against my face. It's pretty self-explanatory why we do it where the mask is going to be laying, but we also want to do it in the area where it's going to be under the mask, because naturally the mask creates humidity, you know, and wetness, and this is waterproof, so it will help catch all that humidity and that wetness and your oils and everything that is coming against you when that mask is on. And it will truly, truly help it to just stick and stay in place. Now I'm gonna take a fluffier brush and just dust this all over my face and hit all the points. But everywhere doesn't need it as pressed as those areas do. And we are gonna go into the eyes, but for the skin, that is pretty much it, guys. If you want to go into a bronzer, you can, which I am here, and because I've got some issues happening. And I'm going back into my Naughty Spice colored Raine bronzer just to add a little bit on the perimeter. We don't necessarily so much have to worry about this part because obviously this is not covered up by a mask. So feel free to, you know, do your forehead the same way that you usually do, since it's not gonna run into no issues. But I am going to put it here, but I'm going to keep it nice and light on my cheeks. And to be honest, I probably should have put this on before I went in with the Urban Decay All Nighter powder. And I am going to dust that over this as well. Just because that waterproof powder really keeps whatever is under it like sealed to me. And I know there are some other like makeup sealing products out there, but this is what works for me and this is what I have. So I can definitely recommend what it is that I have tried and what I have. You guys know that I do like to contour my nose. I'm going with my bronzer very lightly on both sides, taking my sponge to blend out the sides and the corners of my nose so that it just looks like a nice little shadow, and then going back into my all-nighter, which like I said probably should have been done before I went in with bronzer, but I'm just gonna lightly with circular motions go over that as well. I'm gonna say the more matte the face, the better when it comes to mask makeup. And when I say that, I don't necessarily mean what I've been talking about as far as a matte foundation, matte products. I mean as far as keeping your face matte, as far as highlighter, luminous blushes, you know, that kind of thing. All of that is gonna come off on a mask. All of it's gonna come off on a mask. And I feel like you are more likely to look the same, like your makeup is as snatched as it was from jump, if everything was matte to start with. The only areas I feel like would be cool to go in with like a highlighter is inner tear ducts, top of the cheekbones. You also have the option of doing a cream highlight as well. So just like I said with the blush, you can put on a cream highlighter underneath your powder. A cream highlighter also would probably last through a mask as well. So Mented did just come out with a highlight palette, so I am going to go ahead and use this today to add a little bit of highlight to our skin, to our nose. And I'm using a combination of these two shades here. But like I said, this is way less likely to last than if I would have put on a cream underneath. And we are gonna do the eyes here in a minute, y'all. Y'all know I ain't gonna do you like that. Cause I really wanna do like a little spring look. So I am also gonna hit the tops of my cheekbones. And the reason that's cool is because, like I said, this part is not under the mask. Anything that can show like above your mask that you got a beat face, baby, do it. And this highlighter on the cheeks is a big part of that. So that is why we are adding a little bit of highlighter on the cheeks. And I mean, you know, if you want to glow and you want to blind the folks, baby, do that. But you also can keep it kind of chill as well. Most definitely, again, going to hit all of the areas that I just added product with the waterproof pressed powder. And before I move on to the eyes, we are gonna go in with our all-nighter setting spray from Urban Decay. After you do that, you either want to dry it down like this, or you want to take your sponge and press it into the skin. I do want to do something really cute with the eyes real quick, so come on, y'all. Y'all know I can't just leave you in the dirt when it comes to the eyes. Sometimes I'll be wanting to just be like, all right, y'all, I'll be right back. Face gonna be done. But I just can't do my babies like that. I just can't do it. I especially loved the turquoise, the baby blue eyes that I did a couple weeks ago. Y'all, I loved that, especially for the spring season. So it made me want to do something a little colorful pastel again today. I went ahead and primed my eyes off camera, and I went and dipped into my Juvia's Place stash. We're gonna be using the Tribe today, and I wanna use this, girl. Smack dab on the lid. So I'm gonna use a large shader brush from Sigma and a dip into the shade here and just start to press it onto the lid. Now I'm already loving this, y'all. It's gonna come together, sis. It's gonna come together. Everybody just relax. Everybody relax. So first we're just pressing it onto the lid, all over the lid, and then we're gonna go in with like a crease shade to make it more, you know, blended and wearable. That's something that I feel like we don't do enough of, is really play up the eyes when it is mask time, which apparently is gonna be mask time for a minute for some of us. But I feel like playing up the eyes is such a beautiful way to still express yourself through makeup, even if we have on a mask. I don't think it should be overlooked. So now that we have that, I am going to take a fluffy brush and I'm gonna go into Ashanti. I don't know how this is gonna look, but because it's kind of more of like a green tone. Okay, that's giving me a little bit of a mossy vibe, and that's cool. So I'm just gonna use this and start to just blend it in circular motions here on the edge. I'm gonna bring it a little bit over the lid just for blendability purposes, but not necessarily like as thick as the color is here. I don't want that over the lid. I just kind of want to hover it. On the bottom, I'm going back into Ashanti just to give us a little bit of a corner and to, you know, kind of marry the look with the bottom. And then I'm gonna go into my FAQS mascara, which is from Maybelline. And the lashes I'm using are the same ones I used last time. These are my Kiss lashes in Countess. I could not find a link for these, but I did pick these up at Dollar General. I feel like so many of us be afraid of using color, but y'all, I'd love to be able to just teach you guys how to use color in the eyes where it doesn't look crazy. You don't have to look like a clown. You know what I'm saying? You can still use color, cute, you know, wear it with your cute chic outfits and still be popping. You can do it in a way that is super, super classy, super, super cute, to where it doesn't seem or make you feel like you're doing the most. So the last thing that we can talk about as far as making things last while we're wearing a mask are lips. The best, hands down, the best liquid lipstick formula, because that's all we're going to be using under our mask. No gloss, no lip liqueur, no, girl, no, none of that. The best one, I have a best one and a runner-up. The best one is the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink. Hands down, this ain't going nowhere. So if you want a lip color and you don't want to keep applying your lipstick, or you want it to last all day under your mask, this is your one. Runner up are the OFRA long lasting liquid lipsticks. Those have a lot of staying power as well. So I pulled out a few options from the Maybelline collection that this was like their coffee collection, and preferably I wanted to use just one of them without a liner, but I know I'm probably gonna have to use a liner. This one is in the shade Chai, which is like the perfect shade that I need right now. So I am gonna go in with a liner real quick just to have that on with this. And I did have somebody in the comment section on my last video complaining about me always using a brown liner. I'm black. And a lot of these colors don't work if you don't have on a brown liner, sis. So I am extremely unapologetic about using brown liners with a lot of looks. But you know, we can try to use some of the other ones too sometimes, I guess. That is my Colourpop Control Liner, and then I'm gonna go in with this in the middle. We are here to prove that makeup for masks don't have to be boring. It does not have to be boring at all. Okay, so I'm trying to give my lips a second to truly dry down, because once it's dried down, sis, it ain't going nowhere. So I'm trying to give it a moment. I hope I'm blended, girl. My eyesight has been tripping on me today, so let's just hope and pray. Really quick, let's go ahead and zoom in so you can see the look before we mask test it. And we have a white mask. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on this mask, which is nice, clean, and white. We out. And we take it off, and we ain't barely got nothing on here. So that is a good thing. We barely have anything on the mask. However, this one is not so much about, you know, how much is on the mask. It's more about, is our makeup gonna look good at the end of the day after wearing a mask? So I got stuff to do today. I have to finish braiding Amira's hair. I have to run some errands, get out the house, wear a mask. So currently it is 3:12. I'm gonna give it about 6 or 7 hours, so about 9 or 10 o'clock. And we're gonna come back at the end of the day and I'm gonna show you guys how the makeup is looking. I am not doing any touch-ups, which, you know, I feel like we gonna touch our makeup up. You know what I'm saying? But for the sake of the video, I'm not gonna do any touch-ups. I'm just gonna come back and show you guys exactly how the makeup is looking after a day of wear with a mask. So I'll see y'all in a little bit. All right, y'all, so we are back. I have not touched up my face at all. This is what we are looking like. I went ahead and used that same white mask that I used earlier to show you guys. And after wearing this mask for a nice amount of time, I did my errands. I went multiple places. You know, I put it on multiple times. This is what it's looking like. Now, I feel like a lot of us are not wearing white mask, and it really doesn't necessarily matter like what the mask looks like, I guess. It's more about how our face still looks after we take the mask off. So the white is for demonstration purposes. So this is us zoomed in. I've eaten today, y'all. The liquid lipstick is still there. As you can see, even on this mask, you barely can see any lipstick. So y'all, the Maybelline, don't play with her, okay? But yeah, we got a little oil, that's normal. But I feel like this looks extremely good for having a mask on today. You can't even see where the mask was. So yeah, I'm gonna take my sponge and just start to blot. If you have blotting paper, toilet paper even, girl, that'll do the job to get rid of oils. But I'm about to wash my sponges, so I'm just using this sponge just to grab oils without putting on any extra product. And she good as new. She's good as new, so I think it's a win. All right, y'all, so that wraps it up for today's video. This is the makeup like right after I finished it. I went ahead and filmed an outro before we did the wear test, but I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I hope that the tips that I shared were helpful to you so that you can continue to slay the day, even though you gotta wear a mask, girl. We still could be cute, so. Thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Make sure that you guys do click the link in the description box to get that free trial of the Skillshare Premium membership. If you guys like this video, please give me a big thumbs up, comment below, let me know what you thought. Also, make sure that you hit subscribe below if you have not yet, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.